This is great to walk out here. I haven't been able to walk, so I haven't been able to check on places that I developed. I started developing in 2004. This particular spot here is up on the mesa, and it's a grove of trees. It doesn't have a name, but it should. It's kind of a magic grove. Maybe I should call it Magic Grove. I mean, it's not the most imaginative name, but it's a great word, and in a nature sense, it's very true. You can see in here, I planted some cedar trees, a tiny stand of them. Why? Don't know. I put like 15 of them there. They're planted too densely. It's almost like somebody was going to plant some and then they just got bored and threw them in one place. I'm not sure. But they're too close together to mature that way. So we'll see what happens. It's a tiny experiment. I have uses for cedars, so I'm not totally against them. They are conifers, so not totally interesting. And they can't make copal, apparently. I've never succeeded. I want to make cedar resin copal as an incense product and other stuff. So I haven't had any success with that. Anyway, what we need to do here at this grove, I'll just tell you a little bit about this grove. I guess it's called Magic Grove now. I don't know what the word for grove is in Spanish, but there's like several different types of words for forests. This is a very dense one. It cannot develop as it is. The smaller trees are going to die. Now, I don't have to kill them. I'm going to watch it naturally do what it's going to do in this time, and then I'm going to insert a few other plants into there. The other thing I'm going to do with this grove, I already did it, I have to redo it, is that I have a trail that goes through it, and it's kind of a winding magic trail. Big surprise. It feels good in there. There's just a good feeling to how it is. And what I'll do is I'll really keep people on the trail, because this is a grove that could easily get trampled by people running around having fun. We wouldn't want that, would we? So it's a sensitive area, and it's up on the mesa where I have another sensitive area on this side. I'm not going to talk about that. It's the same exact kind of stuff, but its positioning in the forest is a little different, so it's going to have a different plan. But the Magic Forest is a protected area. You can't collect anything out of it, I would say, not even branches. We're going to let them all rot on the ground, and we'll actually encourage biodiversity here. We've already put in some like roses in one spot, some kind of wild gangly roses, and I don't know if they're still there. I can't get there. The trail grew over. So there's teocotes in here. We can still try grafting those, actually, if they're ones, well, yeah, just see how it goes. This particular teocote is blocking the road, almost, and along with this oak. It makes a very narrow spot in the road. I think that's okay. I think there should be spots a vehicle can barely get through. That serves as a speed bump that doesn't make you go bump. I'm not a big fan of topes. But then areas like this right here will actually clear out. Like over here is a case where we apparently decided to kill a madrone and a pine. No, the pine's not dead. Madrone's dead. Because we want more spots under the canopy of the trees, right, in the shade, off the road. These are mostly pedestrian roads for now. Of course, we have to plan them as if they were for cars, but we can cut down the least we have to, and use spaces, like kind of insert ourselves carefully into the forest rather than just smashing the forest down doing what we want. This is an odd case where there's a pine. This is not in the Magic Forest, but a pine has somehow gotten knocked over in a way that makes an arch. It's not really high enough to walk through, but that's okay. Maybe it's an entryway into a special place. I think that's perfect. In fact, there's already a trail under it, so this could have also been done on purpose. Me and my friends have been talking for years about tree sculpting here. We have done it occasionally. There's another bent over. That's an oak bent over. Those are great. I like to see those. We've talked a lot about tree sculpting. We've done just a little bit of it, but it takes time we don't always have. It takes resources, and we're very busy guys. So some capulines in here, no surprise, a black cherry. A bunch of branches here on the side of the road. I don't like this kind of thing. We do trim branches on these trees so that, because they grow over and block it so a car couldn't get through. Here's some more branches. But this is not the best place for them. So branches have to be hauled out. And I guess we should ask ourselves, is it easier to haul the branches out when they're fresh or when they're dry? Do we smash them up when they're dry? What's the least labor method? One method is to have, in some places, people can collect branches, but control them. Like go on a branch gathering trip. That's how you do it. You go branch gathering with a group of people. You say, stay close together. And then you go out with machetes and whatever people are comfortable with. And you smash up these kind of branches, and then they take them to their little rocket stoves and their Lorena stoves and their Pazzari stoves. And they use that wood in the most efficient way they can to reduce the use of fossil fuels, and also so that they reduce the load on the system to provide that wood for them, because actually going out and getting wood is pretty fun. I went to a party once and was out in a little town with a nice family. There was this cool guy, and when we first got there, you know, none of us knew where we were really. It was a music type event, this family music stuff, really nice, great vibe. And one of the first thing he did with the early arrivals, and we were a little earlier than most, is take us off, walking across a field and then up a thing, and then getting armloads of firewood. And I just thought that was brilliant, because I've had a lot of parties, and the beginning of the party is very important. So that's a group activity. It shows that people are willing to help out, that other people there are also there to help out. It gets people chatting a little bit. I had a couple conversations with people. I didn't know anybody except one person. So, you know, that's difficult socially. So socially, it's a great kind of icebreaker thing, and it involves people in creating the event. They're now part of creating that thing for people. I think it's a wonderful thing. But, like I just said earlier, I don't want anyone collecting anything out of this grove. So in this case, it would be guided. And that's true of anywhere, really. I just don't want people walking all over the forest, taking out of it all the biomass for no damn reason, and just burning it all. I mean, unfortunately, people don't think about resources very much. And so a large percentage of the population, when they suggest what I should do here, for example, think of ideas that are very, very wasteful. Like, let's make a huge bonfire, because, you know, universities do that, and you do it at various festivals, and it's really cool. And you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to have that be part of my culture. Now, if I had wood I really didn't want to just rot, maybe I'd do it. But I want this wood to go back in the ground and become mushrooms and stuff. So any wood that in fact, here I'm taking wood out of one spot, and I'm actually going to then increase it over there. And so, you know, this is, I guess, why people buy wood chippers, I guess. My concern here is, why do I care about these branches? Why don't I just let them rot like I should? I mean, we could actually just move these branches right in there. In fact, that's not a bad idea. Let's use these as a wall to keep people out. So let's spread them out more. And every time we harvest branches off this road, we'll stick them over there as a wall to keep people from going in that area. Brilliant. And then we're going to also plant a hedgerow. So we're going to densify things that we know will grow. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I like nopales, for example, but those could really only go on the edge and barely have enough light there. So we can try everything. It's fine. You know, we can make a willow fence. But I would like to fence this thing in, doing it biologically, and then adding to whatever's needed. But starting out with biology, just organisms and plants to do it, is really the ideal. Right next to the road, I do want a bunch more space in any case. Like, I want a sitting space there. I want a pull out for a car. I don't know if I want that on this side. But, you know, the point is that we have to clear some spaces. I can't... Dang it, I wonder if that other trail's still there. Probably not. We have another trail that goes by one of the largest trees up here on the mesa, and that, of course, is a protected tree. It's also a seminero, a tree that likes to make seeds. And we've left 4 big ones of those here, and that was all that there were. It's not a common thing for a tree. It's like a hyper-fertile tree. So, oh, it's looking great in here. See, it's kind of dense in there. Also, it would be interesting to, on the sides of it, create trees that have denser shade. And there's space out here on the other side of the mesa, the north side of the Magic Grove, that we can easily imagine expanding the Magic Grove to include those areas north of it. And those areas are cleared, and that includes the big tree. And so that would leave open space inside of this defined entity, whatever it is. I don't want to put Kidvilla, the Kidville, Kidtown, in this area. I thought about it. It's just, I really want this fragile ecosystem to remain intact. I don't want people running around on it. So this grove is a place you have 3 entrances to, probably. Over in the clear area, in the direction of the big tree, but not between the two. I just don't like the way that feels, you know. And somewhere in here we put entries into it, and it's in the cleared area. We can divide the cleared area, of course. And I'm going to ensure where entries should be. So there's a lot of design work to be done here. The trail used to be somewhere. What's nice is that the forest does eventually heal trails. It takes a while, because if you walk on a trail for even a little bit, it compacts the soil a lot. Yeah, this is what it looks like over here. It's more open. And it's not going to be open very long because we cut down the pine trees there, and now it is just packed with tons of madrones, which is like the main magic tree here. It's just a gorgeous tree. If you don't know what it's called, a madroño. It's called a madrone. It's called what's the scientific name? I've said madrone so many times I can't remember any name. So this, and look at those pines over there. Those are growing up too. Those are really young pines. And then I've left some others around here. The big ones over that way. Anyway, all in here, we can clear this. There's, you know, stacks of branches and crap, and we can make a trail through it that's better. And I think that this almost all the way up to the road, we could just include as part of this kind of a block, you know? I guess that's what I have to do, is then start defining things. So I call this one Magic Grove. And I just expanded it, I guess. Maybe it's better to separate them a little bit. I don't know. Multi-use is good, and I'll figure it out. That's all I got on Magic Grove. Yeah.